Benny, Virginia Roberts was the chief whistleblower who destroyed the entire Jeffrey Epstein empire. She came forward and says, I've been sex trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein to the royal family. It blew the minds of the world. It turned out to be true, and the royal family had to settle. And Prince Andrew was kicked out of the royal family effectively in total disgrace, but also brought down the Jeffrey Epstein empire. This is Virginia Roberts right here saying she's not suicidal. And then just a few years later, she committed suicide right after being hit by a bus in the Australian outback without any explanation. Got it? Doctors said she had just a few days to live. She mysteriously posted that on Instagram. And then a couple of days later, she was found suicided. Okay, her father and her lawyer says that this wasn't a suicide. And James O'Keefe said it's time for citizen journalists to start releasing more on Jeffrey Epstein. If they're going to kill us, they're going to have to kill us all. Coming soon. Well, what was coming soon was a pretty bombshell video where James O'Keefe was able to get a royal family fixer to admit that Prince Andrew was a pedophile and did, in fact, engage in sex with this underage girl and has done so before. This was bombshell. We've never had this stuff on camera. The royal family has always denied that this happened. And so that's a big revelation. James O'Keefe then posted this. Coordinates, geographic coordinates. If you were to type them into Google, what you would get is Jeffrey Epstein's famous Little St. James, the island where Jeffrey Epstein had that creepy temple and had a massive compound, and where Jeffrey Epstein, of course, privately owned, had little roads throughout it, houses, mansions. It's where Jeffrey Epstein did all of his entertaining. Many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein in court documents say that they saw Bill Clinton on this private island and that they were brought there for, well, the things that Jeffrey Epstein traffics women to the island for. This is all in the court documents. They're public. So you know what Little St. James was used for. Nobody's ever seen inside a Little St. James. The feds raided it, took everything after Jeffrey Epstein died. They took it all. You haven't seen any of the evidence. Nobody's ever gotten a camera into any of the buildings, especially the mysterious temple. James O'Keefe came with a video earlier this week showing the inside of the kitchen in this mansion, the main mansion in the house. The kitchen was filmed after Jeffrey Epstein's death, very shortly after Jeffrey Epstein's death. And it's like a very plain white kitchen. It's kind of like what you'd expect, with the exception of an extremely creepy painting of a small baby. It's the only color painting in the entire room, and there's a tiny baby in a pool of water in a sink holding a rattle, a somewhat phallic rattle. Let's make your skin crawl right here. This is the actual painting. Disturbing, to say the least. We went ahead and looked into this painting, and apparently here behind the baby is a Picasso, a $38 million Picasso, in fact. It looks like this. In full definition. It's called Les Sauvages, or something like that. The rescue. And what it is it's about rescuing someone you love from drowning in the water. Which, is that what they're doing with this baby? Is that a metaphor for the baby? I don't know. It's super creepy. But in this video, James said, get ready for more. We have more. And now this is very interesting. James O'Keefe just dropped his newest installment, where they go through other buildings on the Epstein property. James O'Keefe is getting these videos, he says, from government sources. Here you can see the creepy baby video inside of the library. There's the temple, right? That's so famous. But James is getting these videos from government sources. This is very interesting. So the feds are now leaking to James, and James now has more internal, very disturbing footage from Epstein's island. Let's go to James's newest video.
To release more never-before-seen video and images from inside Jeffrey Epstein's former island home, showing bizarre statues and a cryptic message written on a chalkboard by Jeffrey Epstein himself. The Jeffrey Epstein Island, also known as Little St. James in the Virgin Islands. Last time we took you inside the kitchen to show that really creepy image of a baby in a sink. YouTubers have snuck on the island. Luke Radowski, Tyler Olivier getting images of the outside of the structures. But today we're going to take you inside the structures, inside Jeffrey Epstein's library. We're going to take a closer look. Now, this has never been seen before. We are now inside the library. Dozens of books line the walls, including literature like Ernest Hemingway's Selected Letters, vacation reads such as Robert Ludlum's The Bourne Ultimatum, denser titles like The Golden Age of Theoretical Physics, and Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses. Now, a closer inspection revealed unusual objects, statuettes of winged figures in plague masks, and one of a semi-nude young woman washing herself while seated on a bidet. Video and photos inside the library also show a horse whip, which is right here under the chalkboard, apparently crafted from leather and bones. And then we go to this chalkboard over here. Now, this chalkboard displayed cryptic words, including the word power, deception, mirror in face, dank brain, among others. Now, the chalkboard's message remains a mystery, and we're hoping that some of you in the audience can help decipher and ascertain what Epstein might be talking about here. This is, again, right after he was arrested. We compared the words on the chalkboard to a note Epstein wrote in his prison cell before his death. Several letters and letter combinations from the note match those on the chalkboard, which leads us to believe they were in fact written by Jeffrey Epstein. And we're not sure what this means, but we're hoping you in the audience can take a look at this and tell us what you think he was trying to say here. Was it a message he was sending to the world? We're receiving a lot of images, videos, and photos as a result of our reporting. These sources reaching out to us include those within the government, people who don't trust anybody, including our own Department of Justice. These people are reaching out to us on Signal at 914-491-9395. We're currently corroborating the material, producing the material, backing it up on secure drives, and producing our very next Epstein report, which should come out tomorrow. The type of journalism that we do is not free. We just got sued yesterday. We have to hire lawyers to defend ourselves. As you know, we've been raided by the FBI. I've been arrested by the FBI. None of this is inexpensive. Our subscribers get these reports first with exclusive behind-the-scenes footage coverage. By subscribing to O'Keefe Media, you allow us to be independent, free from advertising pressures or donor pressures, and you enable us to operate impartially and without fear. Subscribe to OMG today, and you will get our next Epstein report first.
James O'Keefe saying that he has sources inside of the government that are now leaking the Epstein documents to him, the Epstein files. This is crazy because James Comer, who's head of government oversight, says that he hopes that this happened. He told me this last week on the show, live on the stream. James Comer says, I hope that the feds start leaking to James O'Keefe. That would be the best way to actually get the Epstein documents out, just leak them to James. James O'Keefe has released never-before-seen footage of the Island Library. Cryptic words like power, deception, and dark brain. Handwriting appears to match Epstein's, along with the books on display. Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie. There's also obviously satanic imagery in some of the statues, some of the statuettes here. Nothing to see here. Satanic passages are shown in the library of Epstein's Island. See below Jeffrey Epstein's chalkboard with cryptic messages inscribed, says James O'Keefe as he posts this. Epstein's library chalkboard. Can you decipher it? Let's see. Fin, finance, physics, power, plants, appears, deception, truth, music, political, mirror and face, dank brain or brainy. So people are now doing deep dives into all of this and looking as to what it might mean. We've obtained video and images inside of Epstein Island Library. Should it publish today? Yes, James O'Keefe. Nothing of note except messages on the chalkboard extracted to the best of my abilities. So what does it all mean? Not sure. Very cryptic. Very creepy too, man. The look in here is kind of what you would expect, right? There you go. Fabric in Epstein's library chair appears to be designed by the London Fabric Company, Italian family crest of the Bevequilla dynasty. Interesting. What is that about? Yeah. The internet reigns undefeated, man. Now, the first time we've seen some little snapshots inside of Jeffrey Epstein's life and library. Epstein had bizarre paintings of Bill Clinton hanging in his townhouse. Bill Clinton wearing the famous blue dress that was splattered with his, let's just call it genetic material. That's what got Bill Clinton impeached for lying about it. These creeps always have to have very disturbing imagery up, like these images inside of the Podestas. These people are real freaks. They're real sickos, and I really truly hope that they get locked up. They brag about their sins. They're so prideful, they're so proud. They brag about the evil deeds, thinking that nothing will ever happen to them. And of course, Epstein's plotted, but there's so many more people that deserve to be gone after, and it's time to do it. It's your boy Benny, helping get the word out there. See ya.